Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ifeoluwa. In this video I'm going to show you how to cut and sew this simple bodycon dress in less than 15 minutes. So if this is something you're interested in learning, stick around and watch this video to the end. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do well to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and also feel free to leave your questions and your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much guys. Now let's get started. So this is the fabric I'm going to be using. They call this fabric a lycra fabric. It is very stretchy, so you don't need to put zip or anything in this dress. So it is very stretchy. So this is what I'm going to be using for this tutorial. Now, because of how stretchy this fabric is, you can see how stretchy it is both ways. We are going to be subtracting from the measurements that we have. From our measurement, the bust, waist, and the hip measurements. Now let's get into the cutting of this dress. So this is the bust measurements, the waist measurements, the hip, the length of the dress, the across back, which is the shoulder to shoulder, the armhole circumference, the waistline measurement, and then the hip depth measurement. So that is from the waist to the largest part of your hip. First, I'm going to mark the chest line measurement, which is the armhole divided by 2. Then I'm going to mark the waistline measurements, which is 16 inches. Then from that 16 inches, I'm going to mark the hip depth, which is 9 inches. So from the waistline measurement, I'll mark the hip depth. Now I'm going to take the length of the dress, which is 40 inches. Then I'll use my ruler to connect all to the other side. Now I'm going to take my across back measurement divided by 2. That is 15 inches divided by 2, which is 7.5. So I'm going to take it up there and on the chest line. Then I'm going to connect together. From the top there, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. Then whatever I have left, I'll divide by 2 and mark that point. Then from that point, I'm going to come in by 0.75. Then I'll take the bust measurements on that place. But before then, let me label this. This is the shoulder line, the chest line, this is the waist line, then I have this as the hip line, and then the lower part as the length, that is the length of the dress. Now on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurements. I have 38 inches divided by 4, so I have 9.5 inches as the answer, but I'm going to take 1 inch away, so I'm going to be marking 8.5. So because of the stretchy nature of the fabric, I'm going to be taking 1 inch away from the bust measurements after dividing by 4. So I'm going to do the same thing for the waist. My waist divided by 4 is 8 inches, but I'm going to take away 1 inch, so I have 7 inches. So I'm going to mark that 7 inches there. Now for the hip, I'll do the same thing. I have my hip divided by 4, which is 11 inches, so I'm going to be using 10 inches for the hip. Now on the length of the dress, you can use the same thing that you used as the hip, which is 10 inches, or you can subtract 1 inch if you want it to be really pencil. So that is what I have. Then I'm going to connect everything together. So here I'm just using my curve to blend out what I have there so that I won't have sharp edges. So I blend it out on the hip and then on the waistline. Now for the armhole, I'm going to connect those 3 points together. So the upper point, the midpoint, and then the chest line point. That is the armhole. Now we move on to the neckline. For the neckline, I'll be using 4 inches for the neck width, and then I'm using 4 inches for the neck depth also. So I'm going to use my curve to connect that together, and then I'll use my ruler to connect the shoulder together to form my shoulder slants. So guys, this is it for the pattern. So this pattern is going to serve as the front and the back pattern. So when you want to cut out on fabric, by the time I'm cutting out on fabric, you see that I won't add any allowance there. There's no need to add allowance because of the nature of the fabric. Fabric is stretchy enough, so I won't be adding any allowance for this dress. Now I'm going to go ahead to cut out what I have, and then we move on to the sleeve pattern. So this is for the sleeve. I already folded my pattern paper into 2. So I'm going to first of all measure out the armhole on the dress itself. So here I'm going to measure out what I have. So I have 8 inches in total for the armhole of this place, which means that is the armhole we are going to be cutting out on the pattern paper for the sleeves too. So I'm going to label this upper part as the sleeve cap. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to take the length of the sleeve. So I'm going to be using 8 inches for this sleeves, and I'm going to draw out a straight line. Now from the sleeve cap there, I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches. Then I'm going to draw out a straight line. So from that point, I'm going to measure out the 8 inches that I have as the armhole. That is what we measured on the dress itself. So I have 8 inches. I'm going to just make my taper slant like that and measure it out. Then I'm going to use my free hand to just create a curve there. So that is going to be the armhole curve. Then on the sleeve length, I'm going to measure out the sleeve width. So I have about 15 inches for mine divided by 2, that is 7.5. So I'm going to connect from there, from the armhole there to the sleeve length. So this is it for the sleeves. I'm going to be using this for both sides of the sleeve. So I'm going to cut it out. So guys, the pattern for our dress is ready. So that is the dress itself and the sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead to cut this out on my fabric. I won't be adding any allowance to it. So this is it on the fabric. This is my sleeve. So this is it folded, and I opened it up when I was cutting. So this is what I have. Then that is my dress. That is the body of the dress. I didn't have any allowance there, so I cut it out on fold. You make sure it is cut out on fold. Now we are going to move on to the sewing part. So this is it. I've opened it up, and then this is the other one. So one is representing the front and one is representing the back pattern. So this is what I have. The first thing we are going to do is to sew the shoulder. So that is the shoulder. We're going to sew that together. Now after sewing the shoulder too, I'm going to go ahead to tape the sleeve. So that is the bottom of the sleeve. So I'm just going to tape it a little bit like that. So guys, this is what I have after joining the shoulders together, and this is what I have for the sleeves too after taping the lower part, that is the hem line of the sleeves. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to join the sleeves to the dress, to the body of the dress. So that is the armhole area of the sleeve, and that is the armhole area of the dress. So the front sides facing each other, we are just going to join the sleeves like that. This is what I have after joining the sleeves. Now the next thing to do is to join the sides together. So I'm going to be using 0.5 inches to join the sides. Now after joining the sides, I'm going to go ahead to also join the hem line of the dress. So I'm going to tape that lower part to a little bit. So this is what I have after joining the sides of the dress, and then you can see the hem line too. I already taped that part. Now the last thing to do is to work on the neck. So this neckline area, you can either use your bias tape to turn the neckline area, or you can just fold it this way and then you sew the neckline area like that. So I'm going to do mine like this. I'm going to fold it and then sew it on top, so that way it is also neat, or you can just use your bias tape. So guys, this is the result of the dress. You can see the neckline. You can see that this dress is really easy to sew. In just 15 minutes or so, you are done with the dress. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you gained something. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do not forget to subscribe. Don't leave without subscribing. Give my video a thumbs up, and also share to your families and to your friends. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.